Ta-da! We are live. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Y Chromosome Roundtable, the show where men talk about men issues, particularly men's mental health issues. My name is Tabo. I'm your host today. My name is Tabo Paul August. Kakhatebo punganum tim kolumashia mahlokwangatha zoshumayela umafuza fulelo kwelifule mvula umashwabade washwabatela inkomo nempondo zayo. That's who I am. Welcome everybody. I'd like to take this time to just welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. This is our second show. I think everything is going along much better than what it did the other time. But now we're here. We are here. And today we are talking about the big D, guys, the big D. Not what you're thinking, of course. The word is not a taboo anymore, but it still is among other circles. Today we're talking about depression. Depression. Now we need to know what depression is, what it's not, how to identify it, what to do when you've identified it, and so on and so forth. I mean, before I forget, guys, please do comment below. Tell us what you think. Tell us your story. Indicate on your comments if you'd like to be on the show. I'll make sure that I send you the link and you can join us and be live with us. Unfortunately, today you can't have access to our WhatsApp number, but I would have given you my WhatsApp number, but we don't have it today. But do comment if you'd like to be live with me and share your story. And again, don't forget to get the word out there. Like and share the stream while you edit. Subscribe to the YouTube channel and add me on Facebook, Tabo Paul August Khadebe. I'd love to hear from you. So in 2018, the South African College of Applied Psychology did a study, and that study showed that 1 in 6 South Africans, now this is general, South Africans, 1 in 6 South Africans suffers from either anxiety, depression, or substance abuse disorders. So people in this country are actually suffering from real issues. And that's why this show is here, so that we can actually really talk about what people are actually going through. Now, you're asking yourself about depression, and you're probably asking, what is depression? Number one, depression is a mental health issue. It is. It is a big problem, but it is not an unsolvable problem nonetheless. That's one thing that I would like to get out there, that depression is not an unsolvable problem. But it's one problem that one person who suffers from it has to acknowledge that they suffer from it. Similar to drugs. If you don't acknowledge that you are an alcoholic, if you don't acknowledge that you're a drug addict, there is no point in you trying to get help. Help is only received once you accept and acknowledge that you have a problem. Depression is common. It's common, but still serious, but it's common. It's also a mood disorder. It may cause severe symptoms, severe sadness, severe anxiety, severe irritation, severe aggression. So it is a common but yet serious problem. It is common among women because, again, women tend to be expressive when it comes to their health issues. Men are more reserved. They'll demonstrate other symptoms that are particularly not commonly associated with depression. But depression is prevalent also among men. It affects your ability to feel, to think, and to handle daily activities. Like depression stuffs up your entire ability to function. That is why it is common but serious. It's sometimes sometimes known as major depressive disorder or clinical depression. Now, this kind of issue or mental health issue is not diagnosed officially until you've exhibited the symptoms for at least 2 weeks. You know, because sometimes, I mean, you may struggle with sleeping, which is one of the symptoms. You may struggle with sleeping only to find that it is not a mental health issue. Maybe it's what you do to stimulate your brain just before you sleep, and that affects your ability to actually fall asleep. So it is widely accepted that you must show at least the symptoms for about 2 weeks before you can actually be diagnosed to have clinical depression or major depressive disorder. Now, depression affects both men and women. All right. As I said, men don't talk about it, but it affects both men and women because life gets too much. It piles up. If you have children, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you have a wife, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It piles up, and it does so quickly. It doesn't even warn you. You know, let me tell you, it piles up very, very quickly. Now, it is this pressure that keeps mounting on a daily basis, it keeps mounting on a daily basis, and eventually we struggle to keep up. And as we struggle to keep up, then things start spiraling downward. It becomes a very big problem. I mean, there's a guy out there who is frustrated by a multi-million rand or multi-million dollar deal that is not coming through, that is not being finalized, you know. And on the other end of the spectrum, there is yet another guy who is frustrated by the fact that he has no food in his house for his family. And both of them are depressed or maybe depressed, you know. So depression does not know race, it does not know gender, it does not care about religion. You can be the best prayer warrior, you can be the best giver, you can be like the best person in history, better than Mother Teresa. Depression won't care. Depression doesn't even care about your bank balance. 0.00 or negative 1 rand to 1 billion trillion gazillion rands, dollars, pounds. Depression does not care. It is blind to all of that. It will affect you in the palace and affect you in a squatter camp. That's depression. It will take you down as the president or king of a country or as a person who is the lowest of the low. Depression does not care. I'm a pastor. It can affect you as a pastor. And as a matter of fact, I would like to think, this is not a fact, I would like to think that more pastors are depressed now than before because of COVID. Churches closed down. I mean, people's passions were stopped. So depression is really a very big deal in society, and we need to address it as such. Now, what are some of the signs and symptoms of depression? Um, Identifying depression in men is a little tougher than in women because women are more emotional, you know, generally speaking. Women are more emotional. So when depression hits them, the first thing that they'll experience is sadness, extreme sadness, and they are not quiet. Who knows that women are not quiet? Women, sorry, if you're watching and you're a lady, I am so sorry, but women never keep quiet. If you hear the sound effect, the majority of the people laughing here are women. Listen to it again. My point exactly. So women would express it more easily because of the fact that they are emotional. They are emotional beings. And men, because of societal pressures, tend to be more reserved. So they wouldn't express sadness. They would express other symptoms. So the common telltale, well, they're not common, but you'd find them among men. Number one, anger, irritability, aggression, you know. Some guys are angry guys. I mean, look at the rates of road rage in your country, in my country. People experience road rage like nobody's business. And this is particularly because there's undiagnosed depression walking around everywhere, driving, doing things. People are angry. People are irritable. I mean, I'll speak for myself. When I'm excessively under pressure, I'm easily irritated. And this is not just being irritated once and then done. Irritated once, it means you just had a bad day. But when it's continuous for 2 or more weeks, then it's a symptom of depression. I mean, being angry, don't even know why you're angry, but you're angry. It's a symptom of depression. Aggression. For no reason. For no reason. I mean, aggression. Pay attention, guys. Please pay attention to these. Aggression. People are walking around, they are aggressive. Look at the type of crimes that we are seeing in this day and age. People are excessively aggressive, feeling anxious, restless, or on edge. Like you're ticking time bomb. You're ready to take down whoever wants to like, if you want to ball with me, I'll ball with you. I'll come. I mean, those are symptoms that men exhibit. Loss of interest in work, family, or one's pleasurable activities. I don't like doing this, but maybe you do. Liked going to a mountain and hike, and all of a sudden that's no longer pleasurable for you. You've lost all interest in work. Now, I'm not talking about being tired because you've been working, or you're tired working all year, you haven't rested. I'm talking about losing interest in working, losing interest in family. Your day becomes a routine. Like it's what Jimmy the firefighter said. He says that my daily routine was short. I didn't have the energy to do anything. I got up. He says I got up because the dog had to be walked and my wife needed to go to work. The day would go by and I didn't know where it went. He says, I wanted to get back to normal. I just wanted to be myself again. Those are telltale signs that you may be experiencing perhaps a form of depression. You lose interest in your family. You don't want to spend time with your kids anymore. You lose interest in work, Problems with sexual desire and performance. Ooh. That is one big issue. And men, look, you might not even experience this. Your sex drive might be up there. You might be performing well, but somebody else is losing the appetite for sex, is losing the appetite for intimate relations simply because he is depressed. I mean, you feel sad, empty, flat, and hopeless. I felt this. Like I've gone through this where you feel like nothing works, nothing is okay. Like you feel like everything is pointless. I've been at that point where you feel sad, you feel empty, you feel flat, you feel hopeless. Nothing works. I try this, fails. I try this, fails. If you do that long enough, you might end up going down that hill to depression. Another symptom, not being able to concentrate or remember details, forgetfulness. Now, this has nothing to do with men forgetting their anniversaries. Please, ladies, not because Now you mustn't come to your man who forgets that it's your birthday and then you think that he's depressed. No, he may just have forgotten. But when you forget continually, you forget stuff, you forget details, you forget stuff that you shouldn't even be forgetting. I guess anniversaries you shouldn't, but you get my point. You get my drift. You can't concentrate. You try to focus on something, you can't. You're feeling very tired, not being able to sleep, or sleeping too much. So either or is a symptom, not being able to sleep and also sleeping too much. Remember, I said that this does not include the day where you watched a horror movie and now you can't sleep, or you ate a certain meal, now you can't sleep. You tossing and turning. I'm talking about excessively for 2 weeks at least. You can't sleep. You're struggling to sleep. You have to rely on sleeping tablets. Then you are probably suffering from depression, or you're sleeping too much. When you shouldn't be sleeping, you are sleeping. You're feeling very tired. You're exhausted. You're fatigued all the time. And you haven't even been, maybe you were sitting at home the whole day, but you're tired. It may be a symptom. It may be a sign. Maybe your body is a powerful thing. It may be showing you that it's now time for you to get yourself checked. Overeating. Ooh, 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 ooh. That may be me, guys. That may be me, overeating. Or not wanting to eat at all. Now this is not, now you were eating 4 slices, now you're eating 6 slices, and then people accuse you of overeating. No, my appetite may be a bit bigger. But it talks about, this is more than, it's more like constantly needing to eat. Others may call it comfort eating, constantly needing to eat. Or not eating at all, where you just don't have the desire. You are hungry, but you don't eat. Your body is hungry, but your mind is telling you you're okay. You don't need to eat. You understand? Things like that, and you'd even have the thoughts of suicide, or even attempting suicide. Remember, I gave you a stat last week that more women than men have attempted suicide. However, more men than women have been successful in their suicide attempts, because men use more lethal methods to commit suicide. So the thoughts of suicide or suicide attempts, I mean, thinking about suicide is just as bad as actually attempting it. So, and it happens where you think, and when suicide comes, it's as if your problems are so big that no one can solve them. You can't tell them to anyone to solve them, And that's the lie that this thing tells us, to cause you to go to a point where you actually end your life. And remember, once you end your life, you have not solved a problem. You've just created a new series of problems, So this, I'm going to call it, for lack of a better term, because my vocabulary is not so big when I'm thinking about this demon corners you to think that no one can help you. And the problem is, when you do reach out, you'll find that somebody can help you, because they're not in the situation. They can say something that will help you get out of the situation, because they have got a different perspective. Remember, every perspective to the one who is having that perspective is real. So everything you perceive, everything you see a certain way is real, because it's your reality. But when you tell somebody else, you'll find out that that is not their reality, and they're able to show you a different perspective, and you need that sometimes. I mean, now there's physical symptoms that may tell you that you've got depression. I mean, physical aches or pains, headaches, cramps, digestive problems, those are symptoms. Inability to meet the responsibilities of work, caring for your family, or other important activities. Those things cause depression. They are causal effects of depression. No, they are not causal effects of depression, but they have a causal effect, and that causal effect is depression. So whenever you are unable to meet the responsibilities at work, you are unable to care for your family. You are unable to do important activities. Those things may cause you to be so under so much pressure and experience depression. Engaging in high risk activities. I mean, those are the results. When people are depressed, they end up engaging in high risk activities. Those are telltale signs of depression. People in fact, you see, whenever when we are struggling to meet the responsibilities of work or caring for families or going and doing important things that we're supposed to do, those are telltale signs that somebody's experiencing depression. And engaging in high risk activities, unprotected sex with multiple people continually, that is a sign that somebody might be depressed. And I mean, let me tell you, I'm saying might be. It may not be that this person is depressed. It may be that just that they are silly, but it may be that they are depressed. Sometimes, I mean, people needing to drink a lot, alcohol, drink a lot of alcohol, or do a lot of drugs, may be telltale signs that somebody is actually depressed and withdrawing from family and friends, becoming isolated. Those are all symptoms of depression. And there are different types of depression. There's different types of depression, all right? And I just want to read them to you as soon as I can find them. Okay. I don't know what is going on. I don't know what happened. I'm sorry about that. We're struggling with our Wi-Fi connection. I'm so sorry about that, but I'm sure you guys can still hear me clearly. It's just the picture that goes on and off periodically. Now, when you talk about where's this thing? When you talk about depression, okay, depression has two major categories. There's other types, but there's two big categories. There's what we call major depression. Now, major depression is depressive symptoms that interfere with a man's ability to work, sleep, study, eat, and enjoy most aspects of life. Now, an episode of major depression may occur only once in a person's lifetime. Like it may occur more times, but commonly occurs once. But it is common for a person to have severe episodes, periodic episodes, special forms, subtype. Now, when you think about this type of depression, there's other things that fall underneath it, like psychotic depression, seasonal affective disorder. There is also a persistent depressive disorder, and we also have minor depression under that. Now, psychotic depression is a severe type of depression that's associated with delusions. Okay, it gives you see false things, right? Or hallucinations. So it's delusions, believing false things, believing that your wife is cheating when she's not cheating, stuff, and not just believing and excessively believing it to a point of being obsessed with it. All right, hallucinations, hearing or seeing things that may not be really there. These psychotic symptoms are depression themed. They are. When somebody is having hallucinations, they will normally say it's associated with depression. For example, a man may believe that he is sick or poor when he is not. You may believe that. I mean, I laugh about it now, but it's a serious thing where you believe that you are poor, and in all honesty, you are not. You're just making poor financial decisions. That's one of those things, and it's a common thing. It's there as well. Or he may hear voices that are not really there telling him that he's worthless. So he'll always hear these things. And then seasonal affective disorder is characterized by depression symptoms that appear every year during the winter months when there is less natural sunlight. Yo, that one, guys, I mean, people are suffering out there. They are suffering out there. My heart goes out to them. Every year in winter, you may be suffering from this seasonal affective depression or disorder that makes you so upset. You walk around moping upset because there's no natural sunlight. Persistent depressive disorder, also called, I'm going to try this word, dysthymia. I hope I said it right. If there's a doctor watching me, please correct me. Dysthymia. Depressive symptoms that last a long time, 2 or longer years, 2 years or longer, but are less severe than those of major depression. So that is, but it appears for a long period. And then there's minor depression, similar to major depression and persistent depressive disorder, but symptoms are less severe and may not last long. So a lot of us may fall into this category for minor depression. You understand? So we may be falling under that category. And then there's the second major category of depression called bipolar disorder. Now, this is different from depression. Though it's categorized as depression, it's different. It is inclusive, or rather it is included in this list because a person with bipolar disorder experiences episodes of extreme low moods. Like they can go very low. It's bipolar. You can't really predict. You can go low or sometimes very high. So the reason why it's called a form of depression is because it drops you extremely low. But a person with bipolar disorder also experiences, as I said, extreme high moods. This is called mania. Extreme high moods. So remember, guys, tell us what you think. Don't forget to like our stream, to share it, to comment with your questions, comment with whatever you'd like to say. Leave a comment below. Tell us what you think about other things, Now, as I continue, what causes depression in men? What causes it? I mean, this is what we want to hear. It's common. This issue is common. And what causes it? What causes it? And it's caused by a combination of risk factors. Number one, genetic factors. Men with a family history of depression may be more likely to develop it than those whose family members do not have the illness. Now, this is according to the, let me just find it quickly, the National Institute of Mental Health. It says men whose family history has depression in it. So people in the family have suffered from depression may be susceptible to that. It's a genetic factor. Number two, it's a common thing. This one's a common one. Environmental stress. This is financial problems, loss of a loved one, difficult relationship. I think we can shout out to that one because it's a common thing. Major life changes, work problems, or any stressful situation that you may be under. And I'm sure if I may ask men to just thumbs up this one, I'm sure we would all thumbs it up because we've all experienced this kind of pressure and leading to depression. Particularly financial problems. Those cause us to be under duress, under stress, and then we end up being depressed. Illness. Depression can occur with other serious medical illnesses such as diabetes, cancer, heart disease, or Parkinson's disease. So depression can come in as part and parcel of other diseases. It can make these conditions worse, and vice versa. The conditions can make the depression worse. Now, how is depression treated? I'm going to try to give you some ways to get this thing sorted. I'm going to try. As I say, guys, this is not medical advice. I am not a doctor. Wish I was, but I'm not a doctor. So take it as a pep talk. From one man to another man. So how is this thing treated? Now, the first thing that you need to understand as a man is that no one can guess unless you've got somebody who pays attention and they see you exhibiting one or more of the signs that I've spoken about earlier. But if you don't have people who are attentive, people who will look, it becomes more difficult to treat it in men, you know? And we often avoid to address our feelings. And that makes it even more difficult, you know? And it must be the people closest to us. Now this is just where I feel our sisters should be watching. Whenever your man, your boyfriend, is your husband or brother is exhibiting one of these symptoms, then I think the best thing to do is assume that this is what they're suffering from and try get them help as quickly as possible. Though it may be difficult because you're dealing with someone who doesn't want to be classified as being depressed, you know, but I would think getting them help sooner rather than later is better than not doing anything and then finding out that the situation is worse than what it really is, you know. And it's important that family and friends support the person who is suffering from this and encourage him to visit a doctor or mental health professional for an evaluation. Because at the end of the day, nobody can diagnose sickness unless they are a doctor or they are a practitioner given the right by the medical fraternity to do so, you know. So a health professional would then do an exam or conduct tests to rule out other conditions that may have caused the symptoms. So they'll rule out physical diseases, you know, that may cause those symptoms that may be similar to depression. They'll rule those out. And then that person then can tell if you are suffering from depression or your medication is causing you to be depressed or you have a disease that's causing that, you know, but it needs a doctor. So the doctor would need a complete history of the symptoms, such as when they started, how long they have lasted, how bad they are, whether they have occurred before, and if so, how were they treated at that time. So they'll want that history. So make sure that you keep tabs on that. It is important that the man seeking help also be open and honest. I can't stress this enough, guys. You must be honest and open, gents, when you're talking to the doctor. Dad who was suffering from hemorrhoids that were cancerous, but he did not tell anyone. He didn't even tell the doctor. When we arranged for him to go see a doctor, he went and told the doctor that his feet are sore, and doctor treated the feet, you know, and he ended up dying from cancer. So don't do that. Be honest, be open, talk to this professional. Don't hide anything, you know. If you've tried self-medication, tell him. If you've tried, in fact, when we use alcohol and non-prescribed drugs, gambling, or high-risk activities, notify that person, because it makes it better for them. It makes it easier for them to actually diagnose you, you know. So you have to be honest, and that complete history should include family history. As I said, it may be genetic. If there's ever been mental disorders or depression at home, inform the doctor. Tell the doctor that this is what has happened. Dad once went and killed himself because he had depression, or granddad suffered from bipolar disorder. Let the doctor know. You know, it's not like you're spewing your information out there. You're just getting help. And after a diagnosis, depression is usually treated with medication or psychotherapy, or a combination of both. So be consistent. If it's medication, take your pills. You know, antidepressants, take them. Whatever medication they give you, take it. If it's psychotherapy, take it. Do it. Put your entire life, because I mean, your life really actually does depend on it. So do it. Sometimes we feel like we don't want to sit there and talk to a shrink. We don't want to talk to this person. But do it, and it will help you. And I mean, it will help you sort things out. Now, when you are medicated, they will normally give you antidepressants. Okay, when you are medicated, note that antidepressants will have it will have what? Its symptoms will that you'll be they are prevalent, like stuff like sleeping is prevalent. You'll be sleeping all the time because of medication. But the side effects I just want to focus on. I just want to focus on side effects. Antidepressants can have side effects that include headaches. They include nausea, feeling sick to your stomach. They include difficulty sleeping, nervousness. They include agitation, restlessness. They include sexual issues. That because it's medication. I mean, it may do that. And I mean, you can't find a drug that does not have side effects. It does. So you might end up having to do other things to mitigate that. And psychotherapy is talk therapy, mostly known as talk therapy. So you must get that. Do it. It treats depression because you have somebody else that you're telling your issues to. So you can't just let it go like that. Now, how do I help a loved one who is suffering from depression? One, it is important to remember that a person with depression cannot simply snap out of it. You can't tell a person with depression, get over yourself. You can't tell a person, like in South Africa, if you don't know, and you don't live in South Africa, you'll find parents who will tell their children that why are they depressed? They've got everything they need. They've got the food, they've got clothing, they've got this, they've got that. You've got everything you need. Why are you depressed? Depression, guys, as I've said, knows no language. It does not care what is in the fridge. When it attacks, it attacks. So when a family member is suffering from depression, please don't tell them to snap out of it. They simply can't, And it's also important to know that this person this man may not even recognize his symptoms and may not even want to get professional help. That requires you to be patient, encouraging, supportive. Support him. Help that person find a doctor or a mental health professional. Help them make an appointment. Accompany them to that appointment. When they're feeling tired or whatever the case may be, talk to them regularly, or rather ask them if they would like, just show support. And two, recognize when this person needs space. However, never allow them to have so much space that they are alone with their thoughts and nobody is there to support them. All right? So you need to be patient. You need to be understanding. You need to be encouraging. You need to listen carefully to this person and talk to him. You need to never ignore comments about suicide. Never. When someone says, I feel like hurting myself, I feel like ending myself, don't ignore those. Alert someone. Talk to that person or alert somebody. Help this person increase the level of physical and social activity. Invite them out. Take them to hikes, games, other events. If he says no, keep trying. Don't stop. Keep going for it, but don't push them too much. Because if you push them too much, you might end up having them build a wall where you cannot get through. Encourage this person to report any concerns about medication to his healthcare provider if they are on medication. Ensure that he gets to his doctor's appointments. Also do that. Keep tabs on this person. It's for their own good. Remind them of the time and date of the appointment. Eventually the depression will lift. It will lift. This person will get back to their normal self. Now I'm suffering from depression. I'm the one with depression. How do I help myself with depression? Spend time with other people. Spend time with other people. Talk to friends. Talk to relatives about your feelings. Never be alone. Increase your level of physical activity. Exercise regularly. It keeps your body mild, keeps your body moderate. It keeps you balanced. It restores the equilibrium of your body. Do that. You know what? Find rather, when you're with your healthcare professional, ask them to either refer you to a person who can help you with that, with exercising, or ask them to tell you what kind of exercises you can do that are right for you. Break up large, I did it. Break up large tasks into small tasks. Do that. Break them up. Tackle them one at a time. And clap for yourself when you've attacked them, when you've completed a task. You must give yourself a round of applause when you have completed it, and do it. Don't break them up and not do it. Break them up and tackle them and do as much as you can. And if you can't do more, don't do more. Leave it for the next day. And that's how you get through it. Delay important decisions until you feel better. Don't decide when you are in a state. Discuss those decisions with other people. To get somebody else's perspective. Keep a stable daily routine. Make sure you have rules for yourself. Don't eat before a certain time. Don't, avoid alcohol. Don't drink, because drinking causes you to come back to where you were, and well, let me tell you the truth. Drinking will sort of alleviate the problem for that moment. And if it does, you'll end up going back to it. So avoid it. Avoid it as much as you can. Now, where can one go for help? One, you can go to your doctor, family doctor, healthcare provider, a clinic, a hospital. You can go there. You can even Google therapists, doctors, healthcare professionals who deal with mental health. Alternatively, you can go on to the South African Depression and Anxiety Group website. Now, the SADAG, SADAG.org. You can go there and you'll be able to find resources that will help you deal with things. Two, you'll also find support groups that you can join that will help you deal with depression, bipolar disorder, anxiety, suicide. And then also, you can call this toll-free number. Now, before we get that, we get to that. Now, this will help you if you know somebody who is in crisis, somebody who is suffering from depression, who is at a risk for suicide. Call your doctor. Call 112. This is now for all the networks in South Africa. If you're in America, it's 911, but in South Africa, it's 112. Call it. MTN, Vodacom, Cell C, all of them. They will get you through to emergency assistance. Go to your nearest hospital, even though that person is not ill, but because they've got mental health issues, they're not physically ill, but they are mentally ill. Take them there. Now, there's a toll-free number that you can call. That's from the South African Depression and Anxiety Group. Call that number. Let me try put it on screen for you quickly. You must call that number. Let me get it there. Sorry guys. I have to memorize this number before I do anything. Wait. So the number is 080-567-567. So acquaint yourself with this number. It's on screen now. Whenever somebody needs help, call this toll-free number 080 So if I was to say it nicely, it's 0800 567 567. And somebody will be there to answer the call and help you. So you do not have to be alone. Worst case scenario, 10 111. Those people come there. Do that. You mustn't be quiet when somebody is suffering. Talk to them, help them, get them help, and a crisis can be avoided when friends or family members are involved in the treatment, and you must be able to recognize these signs. And these signs, I've counted them for you. I've said them to you. Anger, irritability, aggression, feeling anxious, restlessness, on edge, loss of interest in work, family, or other pleasurable activities, problems with sexual desire and performance, feeling sad, empty, flat, or hopeless. Listen to the words that people say. Not being able to concentrate or remember details, feeling very tired, not being able to sleep, or sleeping too much, overeating or not eating, not wanting to eat at all, thoughts of suicide or suicide attempts, physical aches or pains, headaches, cramps, digestive problems, inability to meet the responsibilities at work, caring for your family, or other important activities. Those things are risk factors that are involved in depression. When somebody is at risk of depression, this is normally the case. They are physically, unable to meet responsibilities, engaging in high risk activities. When somebody is doing that, when somebody is being careless, not caring about their life, you must know that there might be issues of depression, a need for alcohol or drugs all the time. When somebody, now, when people are hooked on drugs, that's different. But someone wanting to do that on a constant basis, wanting to be in a different place, cloud nine, that's a symptom that this person may be depressed. Withdrawing from family, withdrawing from friends, isolation. Those are all symptoms, and there's more. I mean, you can think about, that breaking these up. This is just the blanket symptoms. You can break them up and see smaller things. People are irritable. People don't want to play with their children anymore. Those kind of things are telltale signs of depression, and you must not allow yourself to not take it seriously. If you go into the SADAG website, you'll find the information that you need to help you deal with mental health issues. I'm just looking for their address here. You can even on their website contact a counselor. There's the suicide helpline. It's the number I've just said, 0800 567 567. There's the CIPLA mental health helpline. It's available 24 hours, 0800 456 789. There is the Dear Reddy's mental health helpline. That's from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. That's 0800 212223. That's in South Africa, guys. Department of Social Development Substance Abuse Helpline. That's also available 24 hours, 0800 12 13 14. And then there is the Depression and Anxiety Helpline. That's AD Cook Ingram. That's 0800 70 80 90. That's also available from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. You can also contact a counselor from SADAG between 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday to Sunday. You can simply call 011 234 4837. And you can inquire, rather send an email, counseling inquiry, to zain@sadag.org. zain@sadag.org. Trying to find their address here. I don't see their address here. However, they do have a Facebook page. It's SADAG. You can check them live every Friday at 1 p.m. on Facebook. You can look them up there. So it's important for you to get the help that you need, and you shouldn't allow yourself to be alone. Never allow yourself to be alone. Somebody is there all the time to help you and cause you to see things from a different perspective. So I'm here. Um, your friends are here. There's people that you don't know from the South African depression and anxiety group that can help you. Their number is below. It's down here below. You can see it. Wait. Must get mine right here. This is their number. This is their number. 0800 567 567. So thank you so much for joining me. We had a wonderful hour talking about depression, how to spot it, what to do when you've spotted it, how to help the person that is suffering from it, how to help your husband, your boyfriend, your man, your brother, your son, um, your father in sorting this thing out. And I believe that if we talk more, we can actually get rid of this stigma of depression. So I'm looking forward to having you join me next week as we touch on another subject that has to do with men's mental health. Guys, as I said, if you have a desire to join me on my live streams and have a conversation with me, don't hesitate to inbox me. There's my Facebook name, Tabo Paul August Khatebe. Look for me, add me as a friend, inbox me, subscribe to my YouTube channel, Tabo Paul August Khatebe, and watch last week's show. Do that. If you want to be part of the show, please tell me. I'll put you on. We'll talk and we'll examine other things. You know what? Before I actually go on to the next topic, look, if you're out there and you want to share your story, next week is the time to do it. I'm gonna open it up to everyone who wants to talk. I'm gonna probably have a guest. I don't know who, but I'm gonna probably have a guest talking to us about this thing called depression. Number, is it uno, dos, number two, 2.0. We're going to talk about it now. We're going to get into it. Do that. And remember this number again. This is the number for SADC, South African Depression and Anxiety Group, 0800 567 567. It's a 24-hour line, toll free. Call them, talk to them if you need help. If all else fails, call 112 from your cell phone, and somebody will be at the end of the line to get you help immediately. 3 things. Don't kill yourself. You have so much to live for. You are important. We need you. That's it from me. Thank you for joining the Y Chromosome Roundtable, a place where men can talk about men's mental health issues. I am your host, signing out. My name is Tabo Paul August Gagadebe Upunganum Tim Kulumashi Amahle kwangathi azoshumayela umafuza fulelo kwelifu lemvula umashwabatu washwabadela inkomo nempondo zayo. Thank you for joining us. Adios. See you next week. Sharp, guys. See you next week. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you.